Hi, everyone. Welcome to SME Leadership Academy, and thank you for joining this session. My name is Kara Kwan, GSuite Territory Manager at Google. In SME Leadership Academy, our goal is to share lots of valuable insights and tools to help businesses navigate this unprecedented time. Hence, this session will give you an overview of Google's tools for your business productivity in this new normal and tips how to leverage those more effectively. Before we begin, I would like to start with why we need to consider change. You've been hearing a lot that your business needs to adapt and change. But why is that important? Change is consistent across a multitude of factors. Market and economic conditions are changing consistently, inviting in a new competitors and business models to challenge your status quo. In fact, half of the S&P 500 will turn over in the next decade. Advancements in technology has completely disrupted what's possible. More and more things are connected to the internet. And according to the Gartner research, the number of things to be connected can easily reach 20 billions. Cars, machineries, medical devices, home appliances, and even cities can be connected, which gives us a huge amount of data to process and analyze. New technologies, including machine learning, 5G, voice assistance, and blockchain, continue to change the game. And finally, customers' needs and users' expectations are consistently shifting as well. 80% of the customers in both business and consumer scenarios now consider the expectations and experience they have with the business to be as important as product or service they provide. Furthermore, the new normal caused by COVID-19 forced us to keep physical distances to each other, work remotely from home, which was totally unexpected. To stay relevant and productive, we need to be ready for adapting on these spectrums and changes. We think you can start with the core tools your employees use every day to get work done. Legacy tools that preserve the status quo can be obstacles to change. People working individually on their desktop, emailing files versions back and forth, and storing data in siloed, disconnected places, and spending too much time on repetitive and mundane tasks. Especially now when most of us are working from home or working remotely, this way of work can create more frustrations and lead to the disengaged workforce. Therefore, we need to change and digitally transform to adapt the new normal and boost business productivity at the same time. Digital transformation for business productivity will start with a real change. Google is digital native where innovation is at the core of the company's culture. Google has 9 innovative products with more than 1 billion daily users each. Google Search, Chrome, Google Drive, YouTube, Gmail, Google Play, Maps, Android, and Photos. I'm quite sure most of you are already using these products on a daily basis or have used before. These 9 innovations are the reflection of Google's high business productivity. In order to maintain the highest level of business productivity, Google employees, also known as Googlers, are armed with the right equipment, right set of tools. This is a typical day of Googler doing their works done with the tools given. And a typical day honestly didn't change much before and after COVID-19. Using Gmail and shared calendar, I can easily schedule a meeting without asking around who are available in what time. Real-time collaboration can be done in one single document where I don't have to consolidate parts of documents and manage different versions of files till completion. I can create survey form for making internal decision or for getting feedbacks for external events. and those data entries are automatically reflected in a spreadsheet to get the immediate insights. Also, if I have a team project with colleagues from different countries or different locations, I can simply send a video call invitation and people can join the meeting from their desktop, laptop, or mobile devices. How I work is similar to how my colleagues are working, and even our CEO is also using the same set of tools when working. The very set of tools we are using is called GSuite, and it's available for all other companies as well. GSuite is a collection of productivity tools for businesses and even educators to collaborate wherever they are located and whichever devices they're using, at home, in different countries, from your desktop, phone, or tablet. We have reached milestone of 5 million businesses relying on GSuite, from SME to large enterprise by this February. And the number grew to more than 6 million now. So who are those companies? Industry disruptors like Spotify and Netflix have long relied on GSuite to help them innovate and keep productive. And not just from digital native industry, a number of leading enterprises across a wide variety of industries, F&B, travel, hospitality, retail, e-commerce, manufacturing, etc., have moved to GSuite to invest in their people and to improve productivity. Of course, the named companies in Southeast Asia are also using GSuite to drive innovative culture and enhance business productivity. This shows major Google tools in GSuite. You might have already noticed some familiar icons here: Gmail, Calendar, Google Meet, Google Drive, Google Docs. So that are already available for free for individual users. You can leverage on quite a number of features in those consumer versions for your individual productivity. But if you're looking for achieving higher level of data security, team management, collaboration, business productivity, or even professional branding using the company's email addresses, you might want to consider testing GSuite, which was built for enterprise customers. With GSuite, you can connect with your teammates as well as collaborate in real time with Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, and Slides. Cloud Search helps you find everything you need, while admin and security tools make it easy to manage users and data securely. GSuite also integrates very well with third-party tools like Salesforce, SAP, and Microsoft for better adaptability and user experience. AI and machine learning technology of Google is embedded in GSuite. For example, internal Google search, internal cloud search to find the most relevant information and suggestion for the sentence you want to compose in Gmail. It is powered by the same engine that transformed Google search, YouTube videos, Google Photos, and translation. Google has 9 products with over 1 billion daily users, including Google Search, YouTube, and Android, meaning that its intelligence engine has the massive underlying training data to be processed and build and develop the powerful and sophisticated algorithm. For instance, Google's natural language processing has been trained over many years based on the data from billions of Google search users. GSuite also leverages this powerful technology to help people work faster and smarter. So I gave a very brief overview of tools that you can use for your business. And now let's look at how to use those. Here are the topics I prepared to cover today. First, keep your team connected and organized. Second, get works done and collaborate from home. Third, deep dive on Google Meet, formerly known as Hangout Meet, to stay connected. And finally, final tips and useful sites. As a first step, let's look at the actions to take when keeping you and your team connected and organized. See, if you have a different groups of people in your team or have to organize different teams in your company, you can simply use Google Groups within G Suite to create an online group to do things like email to the group instead of adding individual person in your email, host group discussions, collaborate on projects, or organize meetings for the group. You can also change your group's type or descriptions and choose who can join, post, and view the conversation through email thread. And then might want to install Google Meet and chat on your devices. Chatting and communicating with your team and colleagues remotely without seeing their faces could be very difficult. Google Meet is a powerful tool for you to bridge the gap and keep you connected. You can simply download the Meet and Chat apps from Play Store or enable the Meet feature in G Suite setting. Google Meet and Chat are available in one click on Gmail or Chrome web browser without installing the applications. Up to 100 people can work on the Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, or Slides at the same time. But if you're working on important or confidential documents, I strongly recommend to check and edit the permission level of a file when you share it with others to control who can view, comment, edit, and share externally. I'm sure you sometimes need to collaborate with your team in a shared drive when you can manage files and allow your team members to store, search, and access the files. Unlike files in my own drive, files in a shared drive belong to the team instead of an individual person. Even if a person leaves the company, the files is not going to be disappeared and stay exactly where they are located so your team can continue to work on. In my team at Google, we recently welcomed a new colleague, but due to the circuit breaker, we had to do the most of the onboarding trainings in a remote way. Just giving her the access to my team's share drive, where all the files and team files, templates, and training materials are located, she could access to all the information she needed to know. And we saved a lot of time as we didn't have to manually hand over and send all the files and information to her. And did you know that you can actually use Gmail when you're not connected to the internet? So even when the network is down for some reason, you can still read, write, search, delete, or manage your inbox using Gmail offline features. When the connection is back, Gmail automatically downloads the new messages, reflect changes, and sends the message from your outbox. And same goes for Google Docs, Google Spreadsheet, and Slides as well. By enabling the offline feature, you can still work and use all the content creation tools of Google. Last year, I went to business trip overseas for the customer event to give a keynote presentation, which was decided quite a last minute, meaning that I literally had no time to build my presentation. So what I did was enabling the offline feature in Google Slides and worked on my speech and the presentation deck on my 6-hour flight where I didn't have an internet connection. So all the changes and work I did during the flight was auto-saved and reflected when I landed and connected back to the internet. The big e-commerce company in Singapore, Zalora, has a wonderful example of using Google tools like Google Spreadsheet and Drive, which saved a lot of time and increased their productivity. I would like to also share a testimonial from Red Doors, hospitality startup in Singapore, who migrated emails and files of their 1,200 employees in 4 different countries in just 8 weeks and boosted their work productivity, especially from easy file sharing in Google Drive. So now that your team is set up for the remote working, everyone needs to be keep productive and able to collaborate from wherever they're located. So when we are working from home, it's very hard to keep ourselves disciplined and productive. So one of the ways to manage your schedules well is using calendar to plan your day and week. You can create your own meetings to create your to-do list and set working hours to keep your work-life balance and protect your time dedicated for your family. If your calendar is up to date, your colleagues who want to schedule a meeting with you will see your calendar and easily find the common available time slots to schedule a meeting. If you want to have a video meeting with your colleagues, you can also simply create a video conference meeting in your calendar by simply just add the Google Meet URL link. As you can see in this picture, scheduling a video conference through Meet is very easy and smart. So once meeting invite is sent, participants can join the meeting in several ways. People who have the distinct meeting link can enter the meeting from calendar, Gmail, mobile devices, or even simply copy and paste the link address in your browser. But only those who get accepted from the host can actually join the meeting. So your Google Meet meetings are protected and anti-hijacked. So during the meeting, you can present your entire screen or a specific window to share your Google Docs, slides, sheets, and more. So like everyone else, I also use screen share a lot to train new employees remotely, pitch and present ideas or product to my clients, and share my meeting notes and project completion status in the internal meeting. So if you're leading a team or a company, it's quite difficult to keep track of a team projects and schedules when everyone is working from home or working remotely, especially with the last minute changes and task additions. It's important to track the progress, but having the meeting with the same agenda every day might be redundant and impractical. If you think so, you can choose to track completion of your team's work and progress in a dynamic Google spreadsheet or Google Docs instead of having a meeting every day. Each team member can directly update their progress in real time in the document, with everyone accessing and updating the same file at the same time. It's easier to distribute further tasks, provide feedback, and manage action items. Actually, this is exactly what my team is doing during the circuit breaker. We create a document called weekly snippets, and everyone updates their progress of the week every Friday. So things to highlight, things to lowlight, any help and support needed from the management. So if managers have feedback or further questions, they can simply just put the comments and assign to the person. And this saves a lot of time to do the actual work and increase transparency and visibility on what's happening in your team. So let's say you want to share ideas with your team or your colleagues, but you might feel an email is too formal and a video conference is kind of unnecessary. Then you can use chat rooms for a quick collaboration to share ideas without clogging up your colleagues' inbox. So there are many other tools available in GSuite for staying in touch besides chat, shared documents, and Google Meet conference call. I would like to suggest leveraging more of Google Forms. So there are many things you can do with forms, like getting feedback survey from external events, getting insights to make a certain decision internally, or you can create anonymous internal survey to check in your team's morale and colleagues' mental health. Analyzing the results and getting the insights from the form is easier as the data entries are automatically reflected in Google Spreadsheet. I would like to share this testimonial as well from All Nippon Airways that they are able to communicate and collaborate real time in GSuite using different devices. I'd like to spend a little bit more time to deep dive in Google Meet to stay connected while working remotely. So Google's video conference tool, Meet, or also known as Hangout Meet, used to be a subset product of GSuite, But Google has recently launched standalone product named as Google Meet. You can either use Google Meet together with GSuite or use it by itself. So there will be a consumer-free version of Google Meet, just like your personal Gmail. And even the premium features are completely available for free until the end of September for everyone who has any email address. So until the end of September, you can try out and leverage all the premium features of Google Meet, such as larger meetings up to 250 participants per call, live streaming up to 100K viewers, and record meetings and auto-saved in your Google Drive. Leveraging on Google Cloud's advanced security expertise, one of the biggest advantages of Google Meet is high-level security. First, all the audio and video data, like the other G Suite data, will be encrypted in transit, meaning that nobody but you have access to your data. Not Google, just you. Second, Google Meet's counter abuse and security features are on by default, so you can be sure that the right protections are in place for your organization. For example, the Meet links consist of a random 10-digit alphabetical codes, which makes it hard to guess and break in, together with its anti-hijacking right of a host or meeting organizer to approve the entry request of each external participant. And third, Meet adheres to the same robust privacy commitments and data protections as the rest of Google Cloud's enterprise services. Google Meet usage has grown with tremendous momentum. So far, 2 billion minutes are spent on Meet every day, which is equivalent to 3,800 year length of a secure meeting in a single day. And every day, 2 billion new people start to use Google Meet. Our all-time favorite, Burger King's, also actively using Google Meet to work from home and stay connected. Global consulting firm PwC boosted their productivity and saved travel costs with Google Meet. The recording feature is very useful and powerful, as it can be used to share the recorded video for the team who are working in a different time zone, or your colleague who couldn't make it for the meeting. Also, you can use a recorded video to train the new joiners in your company. Another cool feature in Google Meet is to host live stream video meetings up to 100,000 viewers. And this enables a large-scale communications and effective way for virtual conference for national and international audience size. The Google itself actually uses these features a lot, especially for regular all-hands meetings across different regions and headquarters, or any important announcement made from the leadership. Last but not least, I would like to share some final tips and useful sites. So when you're using Google Meet, if you want to troubleshoot video and audio quality, first, you can check if you're using the right equipment. And second, turn off video or join the meeting from your phone or mobile app. So one of my favorite tips actually when I'm experiencing high CPU usage is turning off the video features on Meet or downgrade my video quality for better performance. Or you can simply close other browser tabs and applications. If you encounter any problem or have questions about any of the Google tools, you can simply go to support.google.com. So you can actually find almost all resolutions of your issues or questions by simply just searching for it with keywords. The very sophisticated search algorithm of Google search engine is actually also implemented in our support site as well. I'm quite sure you can find most of the relevant information from here. Another webpage you can also get help from is GSuite Learning Center, where you can self-learn how to use certain tools. So together with the Learning Center, I highly recommend to browse GSuite Transformation Gallery, where you can see the actual use cases of Google tools at work with particular scenarios. So for example, you can find ideas how to view restaurant reservations and schedule meetings on mobile devices if you're on FMB, or how to collect electronic timesheets from employees and staffs. Then for more information, you can always contact us. I hope you and all your loved ones stay safe and strong in this difficult time. Thank you.